This mystery box just arrived in the mail. And you want to know what the best part is? It's from Leupold. This is exciting. Man, I've been waiting for this for a week. So, my man Tim at the Leupold Custom Shop emailed me. The funny thing about it is I was just finishing up the last AR video, and when I was finishing up the editing on that, I got an email from him, and Tim said, hey, we're big fans down here. We subscribe to the channel. We want to see a Leupold product on your new Daniel Defense rifle. And asked for my address and said, we're going to build something for you at the custom shop, and I think you'll like it. So this just came in last night. It was supposed to have been here days ago, but we've had such a bad storm that it was delayed. It was delayed. But we were in town all day yesterday, and it just came in. So we're going to find out here together what we got. What do we got? This is so exciting. I had to share. Okay, so we got a Leupold cantilevered mount for Picatinny rail there. That looks nice. What else we got in here? Oh, look at that. So we got looks like there's something cool in there, huh? Well, how about that? Look at this. Can you see that? What a nice touch. Leupold, got the Wranglerstar logo, and it says they're custom built for Wranglerstar. Built on 12/14/2006. Now these are Leupold, are made in Oregon, Beaverton, Oregon. My granddad, I grew up hunting with my granddad. Started going with him when I was 10. Started carrying a rifle when I was 12, as early as I could. He was a Leupold man. That was the best you could get back in the day. And I still have his 7mm Magnum, and on top of it sits a Leupold 3-9. And as well as all my rifles, 300 Weatherby's got a Leupold on it, and all the guys I hunted with. I mean, that was the business. Oh man, what's going to be inside here? Look at that! I got to get the white balance right here. Got to savor the moment. Don't want to miss anything here. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful, Tim. Look at that. It's a so this was actually on this scope was on my short list when I was narrowing it down what optic I was going to get for my new rifle. This is a 1:6 VX6. It's got the switch on there with a lit reticle. Look at that. It's so light too. Oh. How about that? Thank you, Tim. Look at that. Talk about making it special. It's got my Wranglerstar logo on there. Isn't that cool? I thought that the box was cool. This is really, what a nice touch. What a nice touch. Thank you guys so much for built in Beaverton, Oregon. Oh, man, that's beautiful. This is interesting. So, when I was looking at these, these are really popular with a lot of guys that shoot 3-gun. Because I've looked at for the last 2 weeks, nothing every evening, but watching YouTube videos. I'm trying to make a decision on which one to get. I didn't know that's got a handle on it. Most guys said they had to buy something aftermarket, if they wanted these nice big throw levers. But that's got a big one on. I've never seen that before. So what else is in here? Oh man! So we got that's a neoprene cover. Isn't that nice? It's kind of like made out of wetsuit material. Well, even the cover's made in, look at that. Even the cover's made in the USA. Boy, that's really nice. That's a great, I've never seen one of those before. That's really a nice way to protect the optic, isn't it? Easy. What a great idea. What else we got in here? We're going to mount it too. My granddad and I, we mounted lots of scopes. So I'll show you how we used to do that. What's this? So these are like little, oh, I know what they are. So that comes off. Oh, how nice is that? Okay, so here, let me show you what this is. Oh, that's really nice. Look at that. So this here, this throw lever, it unscrews. So, well, that is a great idea. So if you can have your choice. If you want a long one, Maybe if you're like a target, if you're doing competition, or if you want a short one, let's put the short one on there. If you were going to, let's say, run this with on a sling with LBE or a plate carrier, you didn't want it snagging up on things, you can have a lower profile one. There's even a, I kind of like that smooth one. Look at that. That is really a nice feature. I've never seen that before. I like options. It gives you options. It gives you the ability to custom. What a great idea. I just can't get over having my logo on there. Let's take a look at this. So traditional capped turrets, which is what I want. I would not have wanted target turrets. I'm not a target shooter. I want to set the scope and be done with it. I'm familiar with these. These are to zero these out. So it's such a great design. You simply lift it, and then once you set your scope, yeah, there's some marks right here. You can reset it back to zero, snap it down. I mean, just simple, simple Simon. Isn't that nice? That is just beautiful. So we'll take it outside and look at it. But let's mount it up. Let's mount it on the rifle and see. We got our I think it's a dioptic. Oh, it's got a BDC. It's got a BDC in it here. Okay, so right here, I'll show you more about this later here. So it's got a bullet drop compensator, which is, so it's, well, I told him a caliber, so it must be all prefigured for the 5.56 caliber 223. I'll have to check into that. But right there, you can see it's got your hash marks there for windage, and then it's got your hash marks there for elevation, so you can quickly estimate distance. I would imagine 0 to 200, 400, 600, and 800 meters. Well, that's way better, because I mean, I'm not the type of person, I'm not going to be turning dials and doing all that stuff. I'm just not. I want something inside the reticle that I can judge those distances with. Just easy. I want easy. And this is just that. Man, that is really nice. Okay, so I'll show you how I was taught to mount a scope. I probably should have watched a few videos on this, but I'm just going to do it the way Granddad taught me. I think Granddad, he was a good shot. I saw him kill a mule deer on the move. I kid you not. I know this, people exaggerate things, but I mean, to be realistic, I'll bet it was all of 700 meters. You know, with cold barrel, 7mm Magnum on the move across the canyon. I mean, it was so far away, you wouldn't have believed it. Wouldn't have believed it. All right, we'll move on here. Man, we got to savor this. This is not something you get to do every day. Couldn't be more excited. So I've got the rifle set up here. Now, this is a Burris. No, Burris, not a Burris. What's the name of these? Oh man, it just left me. I just had it. It is a Harris bipod. My granddad and I, funny story on these. Let me tell you the story before we get started. So my granddad and I used these Harris bipods on our elk hunting rifles. And so Granddad, he was old school. And if he found something that worked, he stuck with it. He did not like newfangled. He didn't like change. He went with it. He was hardcore that way. And I, on the other hand, you know, I was very impressionable. You know, I was a young teenager, and we were hunting together, and I looked up to him and just admired him tremendously. And I was always trying to get his approval, and I wanted to show him new things and new technologies, and most of the time it didn't play very well. One time, for example, I was really into stereos for a while. So he had his first brand new truck I think he ever bought, 1977 Ford F-250. He worked for Ford. He bought it from Ford, had it custom made. It meant a lot to him. He did not like aftermarket stuff. Didn't like people messing with stuff. You know, he had people who would come in with their cars and modify things, and you know how it is. So for his birthday one year, I went to Radio Shack and I bought a aftermarket stereo cassette player. I'm like, man, Granddad, he's gonna like this. unbeknownst to him, to surprise him, I took the factory radio out, the AM radio, put this in, of course, cutting all the wires, from the, I just didn't know any better. Put it in there, and of course, I showed him, and it was a terrible radio. I mean, it was Radio Shack. It had a bad interface, and it was difficult for me to even figure out how to operate, and it was a bad tuner. It was horrible. It was just horrible. It was much worse than the one that I took out. And so he was very gracious and said thank you, of course. But I noticed that later, wasn't too much longer than the old radio was back in it. I felt so bad. But this was one of the exceptions. So these things came out, and I thought, man, I used to get so excited when I was elk hunting, and I'd have trouble, shaking, and I missed a couple shots on that. And so I thought, this would be the key. I can get down on the ground, I get in the prone position, and I won't miss this year. Brought it out. Granddad looked at it and didn't say too much. We hunted that year, and next year, what do you think was on his rifle? He had one. he put one on there. I surprised me, and by the time I got in this, I quit trying to influence him. And I mean, just to give you another thing, we used to pack meat, so we weren't road hunters. We'd hunt down in the canyons. Sometimes we would spend the night before opening season in little tents, following the herd around. We did real hunting in Eastern Oregon in the bottom of Hell's Canyon. Many times we packed out of that canyon a whole day just to pack one pack out of meat. We would even cut the meat off the bone them out down there, and just pack the meat up. And it took one day just to make that trip. Just brutal. But Granddad, he had those old military pack boards. This is going to go into multiple videos, I'm sorry. But he had those old military pack boards. They were made out of plywood. They had no waist strap. They had 1-inch webbing. 1-inch webbing like this right here. 1-inch webbing straps, unpadded, with a plywood pack board and no waist belt. And that's what I used. I used that for years. I didn't know any better. And you're talking a meat pack, 55, 65, maybe even 80 pounds, coming out of the canyon all day long with those little straps on your shoulder. It was just murder. And that's the way he did it. He always did it. Later on, I got, the big fancy ones with the padded belts and the aluminum frames and the shelf and all that. He never would do it. Never would. He always stuck with those plywood pack boards. But now, the funny thing about it is, many of those things I thought were ridiculous, I embrace them now. Full circle. All right, let's get to enough storytelling. Let's mount this up. I was hoping to get that all done in one video, but it's going to go two. It's quite a bit to mounting it up. It's not hard. It's just you want to do it right. So I took a little time, and I'll share that in the next video in case you don't know how to do that. So all sorts of exciting news. So after I spoke with Tim, he contacted, or through Leupold, they contacted me and invited Mrs. W and I out to the Leupold Optics Academy. Now, I didn't even understand that they do this, but they run a top-tier shooting school for handgun, precision rifle, all sorts of things. A lot of stuff with law enforcement on that. And anyway, they invited us out. We're going to go out there for a 2-day, and it's going to start as a basic handgun class and get into handgun shooting class, 2 days. And Mrs. W, she's excited about this because she has had some basic training, but has never had something this intensive before. We're going to shoot close to 1,000 rounds and each, and man, I'm looking forward to that. That is going to be lots of fun. Now, I did ask Tim about videoing that or covering some of that. I haven't heard back from him on it, so that's going to be totally up to him. Sometimes things like that, if there's people involved in the class, they want to maintain their privacy and anonymity, so totally understand. So I did just ask respectfully, if they say yes, I'll share what I can. If they say no, then but that's fine too. Just perfectly fine. I completely understand it, but I'm kind of hoping they say yes. It would be fun to share it. I've had a lot of that training before in the past for the handgun, but I'm looking forward to doing more stuff with them. I mean, I'd love to do precision rifle and all, because I've learned things, grew up hunting and around guns, learned things from Granddad, but who's to say he did it the right way? You just never know, but we can always learn more things, and especially when you get professionals that have done it, as far in the military or law enforcement, they bring so much, and I'm really hungry for that knowledge. And I probably have a lot of bad habits to unlearn, but well, I'll embrace that for sure. So look forward to that coming up. And boy, it's just so sad on the homestead. We're 38 degrees. It's raining, sunny right now, but the snow is melting away. It's just sad. I wish it would have snowed more. I wish we had 10 feet and stayed cold for Christmas, but you never know. Maybe a little more will come. But well, that's it. Don't forget, if you enjoy these type of videos, I need your support. You can support these videos by clicking the thumbs up, and also by commenting. It makes a big difference. You know, YouTube really favors that. Channels that have a lot of interactivity. Is that a word? Another thing, if you look on the video down by the subscribe button, you see a little bell. Click on that little bell. That'll give you a notification. I've been hearing from tens and tens of subscribers that say that they were unsubscribed from the channel, and they had not received any feeds for a month or so. And this is happening. We don't know if it's being done on purpose by YouTube or if it's a glitch. People have asked them about it. They're not owning up to it. They're basically saying, "Oh, look, everything's fine on our end." But even big YouTubers, PewDiePie and H3 Productions, many of them are having the same issue, and I am as well. So click that little bell down there. You see it, and that'll be sure that you get notifications if you do get unsubscribed, and it's happening to a lot of people. So we need you. We need you. We're here, and we get to do these videos and to run this channel because of you guys, and we'll never lose sight of that, and we're grateful for it. So, but we do need your support. So thanks. We'll see you guys on the next video.